So now I want to consider what was going on with Christian Glass. It's so easy just to dismiss him. Oh, he was going through a mental health episode. He needed to go to the mental hospital, talk to a psychologist. Everything would have been fine. But he lives in a fascist society. He lives in such a fascist society. He might have smoked some weed an hour ago. He might have had a little bit of weed in the car. He was going to go smoke some weed, but he had got chased. He said he got chased and was stuck in the middle of the road. So he was getting chased by some people, and he said he followed some people, and then he pulled off to the side, tried to do a U-turn, got stuck on some kind of rock. He was only stuck on like 2 inches. He said he was stuck in a bush, and he said that there was like a trap underneath the bush or something, and he didn't know what was going on. I think that there were some aggressive drivers, at the very least, there was aggressive drivers, and there was road rage, and they were going back and forth. I kind of want to tell you a road rage story myself. I'm going to consider that something bad had happened, and I'm going to consider the worst. Let's assume the worst. So Christian Glass is being chased by somebody. Let's assume he cut somebody off in the interstate. That person got pissed off. He's driving back and forth trying to cut him back off because how dare you cut me, right, Billy Badass off. So he tries to cut Christian Glass back off. He's driving around him, he's, chasing him, and then he's chasing him, and they're kind of going back and forth. He even said that they exited the vehicle. So he was following them, they were following him, they pull off to the side, they get out of the vehicle. Like, what's up? What's going on? So I'm going to assume something bad had happened. Something bad had happened. Somebody did something to him. And he's freaked the fuck out, and he needs somebody to calm him down. Now I'm going to consider, the worst, and then we'll see if maybe it's somewhere between the bad or the worst. The worst thing, he cut them off, there it's a gang, and then you got one person and another person, and they were going to do something to him. They started chasing him, but then after going about, 5 miles on the interstate, they passed their exit up, and they're like, oh shit, this is dumb. So they get off that immediate exit, take a breath, get a fucking drink or a burger or whatever, and then they drive on home. But Christian Glass doesn't know this. He gets off, the exit afterwards because he thinks it might be the person right behind him and maybe the person behind them. He smoked a little bit of weed. Any one of them could be the police. Who knows? So I think the least that it was just some road rage asshole, some aggressive driver, some road rage asshole fucking with him. And then he was shown that he wasn't anybody to fuck with. He's going to defend himself. He loves himself. He's not going to let anybody fuck with him. He just wanted to go out in the middle of the woods, smoke some weed, and hold on to his crystal. Is that what the Georgetown police and the Clear Creek County Police, is that what they were afraid of? What? Oh, hippie! He might do the peace sign. He might listen to Jimi Hendrix too much. He might sing, freedom, 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 freedom. Is that the problem? Christian Glass stops his car. And maybe he got out. Maybe he gets out of the vehicle. And maybe the other people got out of the vehicle. I don't know. Let me tell you a story. In Pueblo, Colorado, I'm driving from Walmart back to my house, and the guy is just in the middle of the road. He's just in the middle of the road, and he was in the left side, and it was green, but he wasn't turning. And so instead of waiting for him to finally see that it was green and then turn left, I was, driving at a nice, comfortable pace. I went into the right-hand lane and then made a left-hand turn. I didn't cut him off or anything. I was able to get to my destination without him, but he got mad about it. It scared him. It scared whoever that person was. So basically, I'm driving on like 2 lanes, and then I drive into the residential area where it's just, it's 2 lanes going one way, so you have all this space, and then it's just 2 lanes, one going one way, the other one, so you don't have as much space. When I drive into the residential area where the person that was turning, left, he got mad. He shut his door, I think was open. He shuts his door, and he starts chasing me. He starts driving towards me. Well, I'm not, I'll be his Huckleberry, he wants to, I wasn't doing anything. I was just driving and, but he got mad. He's chasing me. We go for about 10 blocks, and eventually I just stop, and I'm like, I don't know what you're, thinking about doing. But I stop, and he pulls off into the corner like a ice cream shop or something, and I get, I open the door to almost get out or something, or I look over. I'm not for sure exactly, but I look over there, and I see that there's two people, two men, and they might have a gun, So it's already unfair, 2-on-1, and the thought that of them having a gun made me, okay, I'll just go on home. How about I'll just walk away? I'll walk away. But it's just crazy how I didn't do anything to them directly, but they interpreted that me driving past them like that, it startled them. They thought I was doing something to them directly, like I'd cut them off. No, you didn't see the green light, so I beat them at the jump. My pole positioning skills is better than... I'm fucking good at pole position, okay? I grew up on Atari. What can I say? So he was just stationary. So anyways, I didn't do anything directly, but my point is it escalated, and then it's like, shit, if I would have walked over there, maybe I could have knocked out dude, and then I would have felt like, how many times does this stupid dude do this? But, or he could have got me. He got the better end of me, And either way, even if I would have got the better end of him, then he could have, maybe filed charges later on. And it's like, what? The whole situation, I didn't want the situation at all. And so when the Colorado State Police said, don't engage, that's interesting. Cop, if you think that by contacting him and talking to him, you're going to get all pissed off and mad and you're going to want to put your hands on him and arrest him for something, just walk the fuck away. They said if he wasn't suicidal or homicidal and if he was not in great danger. So he's not a danger to others. He's not a danger to himself. And nobody's, if he was being chased, those people are gone now. Those people were gone, right? So he wasn't worried about them anymore. So my road rage story, it just shows that, shit can get out of... Jordan Peterson said something about a human. Once you get a human going, they just kind of keep going and going and going. So there's also the grasshopper war. So, abusers, you don't even need a reason. Sometimes people just want to hurt you just to hurt you. So, I'm going to assume that he didn't have a biker gang. He didn't have a biker gang chasing him. He didn't have a bunch of right-wing Nazis chasing him and harassing or stalking him. I'm going to assume that there was a road rage incident, tit for tat. They cut the one off, the other one cut the other one off, and they were doing it back and forth. Then eventually he pulls off to the side. It's dark. It's in the middle of nowhere. Then he starts thinking about, are they still there? Are they coming back? What's going to happen? That was a close call. And then he saw headlights. Even in the middle of the 911 call, he had said somebody is coming because he saw headlights, and then they drove on past. I mean, who hasn't thought like that? Who's never been in a place where you were walking by yourself or bicycling, even if you're driving, and somebody else is, driving on the opposite side? You don't know who they are, what they're capable of doing. And sometimes since I grew up in the country, I'm not good at listening to the signs, stop signs and all that, but I'm good at not hitting people. So when I see an oncoming vehicle, I feel a sense of relief when I pass them, not because of, anything crazy, but just because, okay, we're not going to hit each other, right? It's not really a dicey situation. I've been driving forever. We drive past each other, but, a person just falls asleep and it only takes just 5 feet, just kind of, wander over 5 feet. So I'm going to assume that it's not the worst, but I'm going to assume something bad happened. What the fuck? People don't just freak the fuck out for no fucking reason. Now, there are some questions with perception. I had this Michio book, but there are questions with perception, but I'm not even going to do that. We had to bend over backwards and say that Johnny Hurley got killed, but we had to look at the perception of the police officer. So let's look at the perception of Christian Glass. So I'll say, he could have been getting chased by fucking Nazis, but since that seems the worst and the most extreme and the most obvious explanation is the simplest explanation, road rage, aggressive driver, my guess is he had somebody that was tailgating him. He had some tailgating asshole who kept tailgating and tailgating and tailgating him. And I can't, you know what? A tailgater might be the end of me. A fucking tailgating motherfucking piece of shit. You're supposed to stay 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds behind a person. And the reason why you do seconds is because when you accelerate, you got to do it by time. You have to stay behind so many seconds behind a person. And you count the electric pole. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. It's almost like when somebody stands in your space. A close talker. Somebody that's just like standing so close in your space. It's like, oh my God, man. I don't feel safe because you have arms and legs and you could, reach me and hurt me. I don't think you will. But it's a possibility. And I don't even want to consider that, right? You just want to have a conversation with me, so why don't you stand right there? And I'll have a conversation. I'll stand here, you stand there, and we'll have a conversation. But some motherfucking tailgating asshole, man, I can't stand a motherfucking tailgating. It's a crime. You're not allowed to tailgate people. And if you're a police officer, they could just turn on their lights and then, pull the asshole over. But if you're just a citizen, then you can, brake them. You can push your brakes maybe once or twice. But that's a bully. A tailgater is a fucking bully. And if you brake them, it might piss them off once or twice. And then they'll either, pass you and then flip you off as they're passing you. And it might piss them off. It might make them mad. And it might escalate the situation. Fucking bully, man. The whole reason a person is tailgating. Another thing that I can't stand with a tailgater. Why don't they pass? You have a goddamn, I drive slow enough. I'm on the right-hand side. When you pass, I might even slow down so you even have plenty of fucking space, motherfucker. But how do you not feel that? If you're right behind the vehicle, what happens if you're following too closely and say a deer darts out in front of me and I got to slam on my brakes, you're making me think that I can't slam on my brakes, so I can't stop. I have to hit the fucking deer because you're going to slam in my ass. So you're making the situation more, I don't want to wreck. You need to stay far enough behind me that if a deer darts out in front of me and I got to slam my brakes, you could slam your brakes too, and nobody wrecks. A lot of times it's these big fucking trucks. I don't know if they're best friends with the cops. How the fuck do they speed? How do they follow too closely? Fuck a tailgating motherfucker. But these motherfuckers, the reason why they will tailgate you and they won't pass you, they don't want to go too fast on their own. They don't want to get pulled over because they was driving 75 in a 70 zone. But they will tailgate you and push you to go 75, push you to go 80 miles an hour. So that way you both are breaking the speed limit together. And if a cop pulls, hell, maybe he'll just pull you over and not the other one. It's a fucking bully. A tailgating motherfucker is a bully. And they just keep bullying and bullying and bullying until they just want you to go faster. And I can't stand that shit. When I got a tailgater, the first thing I do is I just try to maintain my focus. But sometimes they just do it for too long, and I have to, give them a little break, a little brake light. But the first thing I do is I just focus. I say, okay, I'm going 65 miles an hour, and I'm going to keep going 60 miles an hour. I go the exact same pace, I'm not swerving left and right, going exactly down the middle, 65 miles an hour. I can feel you right up my asshole, motherfucker. Now you're camping out right in my butt crack, motherfucker. Now you're going to camp out, you're going to go ahead and get the brats out? No, hell, let's have a fucking picnic, motherfucker. Just camping right in my ass crack, motherfucker. Cannot stand oppressive, fascist motherfuckers. But some piles of shit, they're dead on the inside. They only know how to manipulate others, and that's when they feel power, is when they're manipulating other people. So they're fucking living life. And since I can't stand fascist, when I say I'm going 65 and Mr. motherfucking, 1 second, half a second behind me is still half a second behind me, I know it's pissing him off. He clearly wants me to go faster. That's why you're so fucking close. I'm going to maintain my speed. So to all you tailgating shitbags out there, why don't you fucking pass? Pass the person that you're driving. You're such a badass motherfucker. Just fucking pass. You don't need me to speed with you. And I don't want to fucking break the law. I don't want to go any faster, you fucking motherfucker. I've always had crappy cars. Drive as fast as you so my car breaks down? Fuck you. Now, my car can only do 65. I'm going to maintain my 65 miles per hour. You want to go faster? Pass me up. There's 2 lanes here. Why don't you get some courage? Again, pissant motherfuckers. Pissant motherfucker will tailgate you all day long, but they won't pass you up and then just go about their journey. You know, I love that. I love that. When a person is driving behind me, and even if they're not a tailgater, they just want to go faster than me. Pass me the fuck up. You go to your destination. I don't have to worry about you. That's perfect for everybody. Don't tailgate me. Pass me. Don't tailgate me. So, tailgaters are oppressors. They're oppressors. They're manipulators, fascists, they're bullies. Now, the thin blue line. It's weird that all Christian Glass needed was a slight push out of the ditch. And it's weird that some motherfuckers who believe in the thin blue line, cops can do no wrong. They could do no wrong whatsoever. So, he needed to be pushed out of a ditch and they murdered him. If you were stuck in a ditch and I brought the stop sticks out and I'm like, nope, you're staying in this ditch. You're never going to leave this ditch. I'm a bad neighbor. And then if you're stuck in a ditch and then I jump up on your hood and I shoot and I kill you, I should be charged for 2nd-degree murder, manslaughter. There's 5 charges in Colorado. Vehicular, 1st, 2nd, manslaughter, negligent. So the fact that Christian Glass just needed to be slightly pushed, he was stuck in 2 inches of sand, stuck on a rock. They could have used the push bar on the cop car, or they could have just pushed it with their hands. There's 5 of them there. They could have just pushed him. All right, heave ho, heave ho. But they'd have to be empathetic. Ronald Reagan says that's the most, scariest words is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Oh, you're the marshal. You're the town marshal of Georgetown? Okay. No, I'm rolling my window up too. No, close your damn door. Oh shit, it's the marshal from Georgetown. No working class families should feel safe in Clear Creek County. No working families should feel safe in Georgetown around those they just killed a person straight up. And if you're all a bunch of progressives or Christians, are any of y'all Christians? Any of y'all progressives anywhere? Are any one of y'all good, virtuous people? Montesquieu said, without virtue, a democracy dies. You're a bunch of judgmental fucks. You'll roll your eyes at people's plights all the fucking time. The 911 operator, right, rolled her eyes. Oh, you're stuck in the roadway. Oh, skinwalkers, huh? That one 911 operator, forget where it was, she was making fun of the woman who took she was delivering newspapers. She drove down a road that the water had come up over, and the water was coming into her car. And that woman drowned that night. But what did that 911 operator say? Yeah, right. No, you did it on purpose. Maybe I'll send somebody out. She sassed her. The 911 operator sassed that woman before she drowned. Is there a worse way to die? She was working, trying to make a couple beans, a little bit of fucking dollars for her family. Drove her crap car down the wrong way road. Water started coming in too quick. She couldn't get out. She called 911 thinking you were going to help. And now you're sassing her. Instead of goddamn sending the cop out immediately, you're fucking making jokes and clowning around. Heidi McCollum says her office plans to eventually issue a report on the shooting. I eagerly await Heidi McCollum's report. I eagerly await this. He was fully contained in his vehicle. He presented no threat. He was no threat. They're afraid of knives. Oh my God, if we put our hands on him, he might cut us a little bit. I thought you guys are the badasses. What the fuck? He's got a knife. He's got a knife. They make it seem like Christian Glass brought a knife to stab a cop. Is that what you did? He left that morning. I'm going to go. The autopsy said Glass had THC, but it was 0.01 blood alcohol concentration. So I don't know how much THC it said. It said amphetamine, which is just, I think it's just a stimulant, so it's like caffeine or Tylenol. What's Tylenol? Tylenol is, I don't know. Industry best practices in law enforcement would recommend that officers just leave the scene, walk away from the scenario, said Wacho Ed Obayashi, a sheriff's deputy, is the lead trainer for the use of force in California. Told the outlet officers are taught to walk away from this type of scenario. From the beginning to the end, the officers escalated and proactively initiated force. The Glass family lawyers Siddhartha Rathod and Qusair Mohammed Bihai said in a release. And yet these officers, including the one who killed Christian, are still in uniform and have paid no price for their conduct. Our country cannot continue to tolerate this level of extreme violence by law enforcement. The act of simply calling 911 for help cannot be a death sentence. This makes me think of Elijah McClain, and it makes me of Isaiah Brown. Ronnie Lee Smith, Samantha Spade, Isaiah Brown, they're angels. Elijah McClain was an angel. Elijah McClain used to go to the Pound and play his violin for the cats and the dogs at the Pound. Isaiah Brown was a gay black man, seemed very gentle, and he wasn't allowed in the room and called 911 because his brother wouldn't let him in the room, and he had a phone in his hand, the phone that he called 911 with, and they mistook the phone for a gun. Came up on the scene and just shot and killed him. Glass, whose parents are from the United Kingdom and New Zealand, told the dispatcher he had what could be perceived as United Kingdom, New Zealand. Do they have these same problems with the cops there? He says, I'll keep my hands completely visible. I'm not dangerous. I understand it's a dodgy situation, so just throw the knives and the hammer and the rubber mallet out. I'm not having any luck clearing this party, and he's not making much sense. That's what he felt. When he started talking to the 911 dispatcher, he felt that she wasn't empathizing. And that's when he fucking went off to the side. Oh, I thought I cared about you because you was going to help me out, but you're not a good 911 person. Mass killers. James Holmes, King Super Shooter, Ahmed Alyssa, Planned Parenthood, Robert Deering. The Planned Parenthood fucking killer, the James Holmes, Batman killers, King Super's killer. You get these abortion nut job, all these cray-cray motherfuckers. They just say they're cray-cray. Life was tough, so they just fucking got a gun and started shooting people. But now, because they say they're cray-cray and Colorado is liberal, they're going to eat off the system for life. If you murder a man, you get to live for life. The system is going to take care of you here in Colorado. But if you call 911 thinking that they're good people who's going to help you push you out of a little ditch, but you might have been smoking a little bit of weed, watch the fuck out. Death penalty is de facto not legal here. Technically is legal, but not de facto. Rock's inside, he's an amateur, the heart thing. He was doing the heart thing, the energy. He had good energy. They had terrible energy. So, those are my comments. When it comes to the protest LLC, I hope that they, they're all going to eat now, right? Everybody's going to be, oh, I'm so mad. God, this is outrageous. And it is. But are we going to do concrete changes? Everybody, do we want concrete changes? I mean, is it time for a revolution? Ain't it about time for a fucking revolution? We need an immediate correction. So we need to have all those people that were on the scene charged with something. They need to be fired. They cannot be police officers no more. They need to be charged with a crime. And so they need to be arrested or summoned, right? Somebody needs to arrest them and somebody needs to give them a summons. And then they go through the same criminal justice system the rest of us go through. We need immediate correction. Immediate correction is fire all those people that were there. And then either hire some new ones or just don't have the cops. We don't need cops that come around killing people for no fucking reason. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs it. So that's Elijah McClain, Isaiah Brown, just sweethearts, people that don't seem like they would have heard anybody in the goddamn world. And it's America. It just keeps fucking happening. It just keeps fucking happening over and over again. Don't let me catch you slipping now. Don't let me catch you slipping now. R.I.P. Christian Glass.